We are indeed back. I know it's been a long time since I last actually recorded this, but a few little things do happen in life. Well, and welcome. My name is Yuusha Anime, and welcome back to The Letter. Now, last time we actually had an interesting little talk with Ashton and also oh God, I've forgotten her name. Isabella. It's been a while, right? Have mercy on me. I've been meaning to actually come back to this because I'm trying to balance everything around. It's really difficult to upload massive file games like Valkyrie Drive. It's so bloody difficult. But we're here now. We're going to resume, so guys, you can be shook. Let's go. Sometimes I wish Ash would make himself easier to find. 24 messages, 13 phone calls, and 1 visit to his flat later. I still have no idea which rock in Lux spawn he went off to hide under again. The guy has his own place but refuses to stay in it. Has his own phone but doesn't answer any of his calls or give any indication he's got my messages. Most of the time he'll just show up on my front door. Sometimes in the middle of the night complaining how uncomfortable it is to sleep at the back of his his car. Why doesn't he stay at his own place? It's a little bizarre. As if the old couch in my flat is any better. Nothing new from him though, but a bit frustrating really. There's the police precinct, of course. Then again, he's not there most of the time either. If that's also true for today, he's likely out on another stakeout. There's nothing much to do for me but to wait if that's the case. So we're trying to meet with Ashton.
Let's just hope I'm lucky enough today.
Okay. It's a bit weird now I think about it. Why are we trying to catch him today? Is it about what happened with Isabella the other day? Am I trying to inform Ashton? While Luxborn is a relatively peaceful city boasting a low crime rate, its precincts stay abuzz with activity. As soon as I open the glass front doors, murmurs coming from the people waiting in the lobby welcome me. Officers can occasionally be seen shuffling in and out of the rooms, greeting civilians with a casual smile and a polite nod. Some, though, look a little worse for wear, like their receptionist, who looked at me with much disdain the moment I arrived. Thankfully, I wanted to deal with him today. Before I can even step in, Ashton's voice, though low, comes from the hallway adjacent to the lobby.
Not even for just 1 minute?
No. The case was dismissed, remember?
You were the one handling that case.
If you want access to those records, you've got to ask Chief. I was taken off it before shit went to hell.
Oh?
Why do you even bother? Even Professor Clark seems to have given up on that.
Well, never mind, you won't understand.
Right. I know you owe Professor Clark a lot, but the right guy isn't just someone you mess with.
Oh. He's trying to look into the right.
They've got the money. Who knows what else gets swept under the rug with them involved.
That takes a special kind of ignorant not to know.
And a smart person to know which boundaries he can't cross. You're a bright guy, you'll figure it out. In any case, I've got to get going. Another missing person case on my hand. Benjamin on the front desk looks like he's about to maul someone after the 4th one yesterday. Murders, people missing.
Jesus.
What a time to be alive. Man, I miss the old Luxburn.
What was Lux? Oh, it's Luxburn.
You and me both. I'll see ya. Gonna go grab some lunch.
He notices me as soon as he enters the lobby and pauses. Confusion briefly crosses his face until I fish out the phone from my pocket and wave it up. Oh. Friday pulls his mobile out, wordlessly fiddling with it for a few seconds before sighing heavily. He must be really stressed. There ain't any annoyance in him when he glances up, though. Only mild exasperation and what might be a hint of amusement.
Stop taking pointers from Isabella. This is gonna get old soon.
Huh?
At least use your phone properly.
It's an alarm clock, a good note-taking device, a halfway decent camera, and maybe a music player too. If I'm being nice.
Damn.
What else do I need it for?
I don't know, keep it in contact maybe?
Maybe. When he merely shrugs, I now struck a chord. He's far from holding a piece of technology in contempt, of course. Ash has always been nothing but practical from the start, and technology is useful. Only when he gets too focused on one thing, like a case he's handling, he tends to forget there are other things around him. A little reminder and a nudge in the right direction can get him a long way.
I've got an email on that social media site the girls roped us into joining.
That doesn't make any sense. Also, you've got an account before any of us had one.
Oh.
For policing purposes?
Oh.
Anyway, why are you here? I thought you have something scheduled today. Or was that yesterday?
That was
That
yesterday.
was yesterday.
Yep.
Look, about that. There's something I want you to see.
The photo? He stops me with a tap on my shoulder, walks past me straight to the door, and gestures with his head towards their very irked receptionist when I raise an eyebrow in question.
Over lunch. I haven't eaten anything since last night, and Benjamin there doesn't really like loiterers around here.
Wordlessly, I follow after him, but after sending the poor guy behind the table an apologetic smile. Oh. Oh, we're in a cafe. Hello. Starbucks. I don't know why that reminds me of like the cards are like for Cards Against Humanity. It's a bit weird. As expected, he takes a seat in the farthest corner of the cafe. A good way from the window, but easily allows a view of who comes and goes. Secluded enough not to be disturbed by the lunch hour rush or be overheard by a curious bystander. If I didn't know this is lunch he invited me to, I would automatically assume I got dragged into another stakeout. After years of knowing him, though, this has simply become one of the many habits he has I've gotten used to. There we go. Food arrives minutes later. Ooh. Damn it. Give me your smuggest coffee. The letter fans. There we go.
You having cake
oh,
for
damn it.
lunch?
Sorry. A slice of their vegetarian quiche for me. Meanwhile, Ashton has opted for a cup of coffee plus a gracious serving of cake. Okay. Is it a lie? We must know. He shrugs and then proceeds to dig in without even a hint of remorse. Frankly, it's like seeing a child get his Christmas present early.
Don't tell Becca. I'll get an earful. It's just for today.
Uh-huh.
You should listen to her, though. The kind of work you do, you'll need to eat something other than sweets. I don't want to see you drop dead in front of my apartment again.
I told you, just this once. Have you been hanging out with Becca lately? You're beginning to sound like her.
Oh.
Nah, just for some recipes. But she has the right to worry, you know? It's like she's taking care of two kids. One bitches on sweets, while the other on cup noodles. At least Bella knows how to cook.
Hey, I can at least boil something.
An egg?
Wait, that's easy, right? I mean, you just put water in and...
Yeah.
No, don't even think about it. You destroyed your own kitchen once by sticking a pressure cooker on it.
Oh.
I think my sister is a whole lot better than you. And this is coming from someone who has no other choice but to eat her cooking for some time.
Jeez, how bad was your sister, Zach? To be fair, he generally appears offended at the last remark. Hate will be too strong of a word to describe how Sis and him usually interact whenever they're in the same room. Wait, he knows... Actually, that would actually make sense if he knew his sister, because these two are very close. Though whatever appropriate word it is, I can say with most certainty that the feeling's mutual for both. Ash thinks he nags too much, while Sis thinks he's a trouble magnet I should stay away from. They're both technically right on their assessments.
How's your sister, by the way? Still bullying white guys?
Whoa. Ooh. I don't even know who the sister is. She's married to one now, or you're the one who started it? I'm gonna go at this one.
You do know she's married to one now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the good choice.
I hope she doesn't end up poisoning him with her cooking.
Pot calling the kettle black?
She can't be better than me.
Actually, she is now. They're planning to start a restaurant sometime in the future.
Well, that's a plot twist.
I was bedridden for days after eating some of the stuff she whipped up. And now you're letting her cook for other people?
That must be some trust.
Don't exaggerate. It was just for one day, and you're the one who refused to leave your apartment.
Oh.
You should come by, though. Sis gave birth a few days ago. Girl, I've
Oh.
only seen the pictures. But I might visit sometime after everything's settled down. Too many backlogs to go through for now.
No way in hell. She'll just find something to criticize again. Last time, it was Shirley.
Shirley? Oh, well. He makes a show of being utterly mortified, though I'm quite sure he doesn't mean any of that. He might not say it straight out, but I'm pretty sure he's enjoying the small visits whenever he can. Something about it reminds him of his own family. Sort of like making up for the one he never got back after his parents separated. Sore spot, that one topic. One thing he never ever brings up in any conversation. If he can help it. And I've never seen the need to be nosy. There are some wounds you're just not meant to open, and for the both of us, the sentiment goes the same way.
As if you ain't already on a shit list. You're just afraid of her.
In your dreams. But I'll think about it. Can't just drop this thing at the moment.
His change in his tone is subtle, but his aggravation on the other matter hangs completely palpable in the air.
Still no closer?
The opposite, actually.
Oh?
There's been some slip-ups here and there. Careless mistakes, and let's just say I'm waiting for him to make another one. What about you? How are things on your end?
All piled up on top of the other. But I can manage. Still recovering from the expenses for the movie, so the surge in new projects helps. Well, there's this one thing.
Oh? And there is the picture. Ooh. It actually still makes me creeped out looking at it. The expression on his face grows more puzzled with each photo I spread on the table. There's about 8 of them. All of it reprints of the same thing. Miss Wright's distorted head on the photos. He takes a minute to go through each eyeing the prints warily. The furrow on his brow doesn't ease even as he gathers all of it into one pile and sets them on one neat stack in front of me with a heavy sigh.
Hana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you...
The locket. She never takes it off.
Oh.
Evan's
Okay.
family heirloom.
Okay, that's something new. I won't even think about asking why or how he knows that. If he's investigated them, he'll likely have already dug up every unimaginable dirt on them, including family history. I'm
Are you
interested
done with your
in it
work
as well.
with them?
Yesterday, yeah. It's just a small feature from a magazine. Interviews, photos, standard stuff, nothing big. But see, here's the thing. I don't know how else to put this out there without sounding crazy, but there really is something odd with that place.
Yeah.
Remember the letter?
He drags in a breath. Here we go. Time to convince. Reaches up his nose and pinches it. Like the action alone will help grant him all the patience in the world to continue this conversation.
Please tell me this isn't about that again.
No, Ash, you've got to listen this time.
I am listening, and I can't believe that just came out of your mouth. These are some blurred out photos, and that letter is just a stupid prank. I expected this from Isabella, not you. You're the photographer here. I don't see any need to get worked up over this.
I know what you mean, but will you hear me out first?
Yeah, first. Ash leans back in his seat and doesn't say anything further. He gestures for me to continue with a wave of his hand, impatient clearly on his face. Any other person telling him this and he'll walk out without batting an eye. I suppose the only reason he's given me the benefit of the doubt is because we know each other.
Ash, I don't easily buy into these things as much as you do. Yesterday, though, behind Hana.
He blinks at that, his eyebrows lifting momentarily before settling into a deep frown.
Hana? Since when were you on a first-name basis with the right missus?
Why does that even matter?
I
Yeah,
thought you said this was just a gig.
it was. His voice stays level, but the accusation in it is as clear as day. It hits a nerve in me somehow. One that tone usually does. But then again, when I was making a choice, no wait, she told me to call her Hana anyway. I do get where it's coming from, but that's not the point here. Ooh. Any of these choices sound like they could be really... Oh, God. We're getting off topic is one thing. But then again, that could sound like I'm diverting it. However, with me saying it's really just a gig, that could sound like I'm passing it off entirely. And I'm just... and it could also be a reassurance. Either of these choices can either be good or bad. Damn it! If I just stay focused on the gig though, he'll think that there's something actually going on. But I'm going to say, that's not the point here. Damn it! That was the wrong choice. Of all the things I said, my connection to the Wrights family is the first thing he points out. As much as I want to keep my own annoyance at bay, I can't stop it from seeping into my voice. Damn
That's
it!
completely beside the point here, Ash.
I warned you, Zach.
I get it, alright? But you can't just expect me to turn it down after I made a commitment to a client. I've got to put food on my table.
I didn't say you shouldn't, but you should not be messing with them.
I wasn't messing with them.
And this isn't?
Jesus! How much of a bad choice? That was difficult. That was difficult to choose out of both of them because either of them could have been good or bad. Just saying them can sound bad. Or good. Jesus! He waves the photos in front of me before dropping the pile on the table with a loud smack. I do need to know we've already attracted some attention from the lunchtime crowd. Besides, turning away from him feels almost the same as admitting he's right. There are things more important than this damn case right now. I wish he'd see that.
It was a job, and that ain't how these photos were intended to come out. You think I'd go out of my way just to edit something like this? There's something weird going on here.
And you think Luke Wright will see it that way?
What?
You think the Wright missus will find it amusing?
I did not do this for my amusement,
Jeez.
Ash. People's lives might be at stake here.
If you understood that in the first place, we wouldn't be having this stupid talk.
Ash, you were the one who kind of focused more on it.
Luke fucking Wright is a dangerous man, Zach. Keep hanging around them and you'll find yourself burnt to a crisp in your apartment or floating down a river 3 days later. This case is...
Will you stop talking about the damn case for once and just listen to me? Why do you think Isabella's...
Don't you dare bring her into this. We're talking about you and this stupid...
Oh, of course you don't want to talk about it. Because you're fucking afraid there's some damn truth to what she's saying now that there's two of us.
Jesus. Whoa. Fuck. Alright, I'm sticking with that choice. Because, good God, every expression drains from his face as soon as the words are out of my mouth. They've hit their mark. Each utterance caves sharp with nothing but anger and the truth. Yet they are also things I won't typically say out loud in a good company. I'd rather ease people into it before letting it fall. Almost immediately, a wave of regret washes over me.
Ash, dude, that ain't what I meant to...
You said enough, Zach.
Without another word, he stands, his chair scraping loudly against the floor, all while my brain races to find something to fix this. Ours ain't a fragile friendship by any means. I like to think we've gone past the stage when we find everything the other says insulting. But there are times when when letters and phrases alone can cut deeper than any blade. Yeah. Mine might even leave a scar. It doesn't let me, however. Huh? Instead, he sets a card in front of me. Oh. This is not what I wanted. Damn it. He now thinks I'm crazy. Instead, he sets a card in front of me. The name is familiar, but amidst the cloud of remorse swelling inside my head, I can't bring myself to recall where
You
I've
shouldn't
seen
be
it.
running blind. Call this guy. He'll be less inclined to shout at you. Might even talk some sense into you.
Jeez. That was bad. Shit. Oh, wow. Damn. That was what I didn't want to happen. But the relationship's still good. I hope it's still good. There's still got to be more I can do to make it better. This might have been I mean, sure, the relationship is a bit worse, but that could have been a better choice. I really think that could have been a better choice. I don't see his face when he leaves, and it is only when the store's bell chimes again do I breathe. Fuck. Of all places, it never crossed my mind I'll end up wandering into the public library today, considering I rarely ever visited. Somehow, there's always been this kind of disconnect between me and books in general. Sure, some of them held my attention in my youth during the brief times of the day I was left to my own with nothing to do. I went through the whole of Grant's collection, as a matter of fact. Read all of them twice or thrice even. But they never did hold it for long. Most of it never even sticked. Especially after I learned it's simply easier to do things myself if I want to learn stuff. Toots. This ain't the plan in the first place. Oh, story updated. But after that argument, I really don't have any other choice. Nothing but quiet greets me inside, though. Not the typical mum one would associate with a library, but one akin to a hush prior to impending trouble. Or perhaps I'm just overthinking again. Oh no, something bad's gonna happen. No. I really like to think I'm just thinking too much about this. That this is just the lack of sleep talking. Regardless, apart from the group of students murmuring in the corner somewhere, this place is free of its usual visitors. All while my footsteps echo in a manner unsettling enough to raise the hairs at the back of my neck. Much to my relief, it does not take me long to find him, being the only occupant in this side of the room. Ah, the professor. We're actually seeing the professor, okay. Professor Andrew Clark. I've never personally met the man, but Ash has spoken highly of him several times. In fact, he is Ash's go-to guy when something's troubling him with a case. My steps are unsure as I approach. At any rate, he greets me with a warm smile like a grandson he hasn't seen in a long time.
Ashton's friend, I take it. Zachary. You'll have to forgive this old man if I don't get your name right.
Oh no, you got it.
Yeah.
It's Zach. Zachary Steele, Professor Clark.
He gestures at this empty seat across the table while he returns to his books. The next couple of minutes pass in relative silence as he continues to read and take notes from the pile he's accumulated on the table. Maybe I should have taken a book first before heading here. But before I can even get far into that idea, the professor clicks the book shut and sets it atop the stack next to him. That's weird. Clicks the book shut. Is it like one of those ones that have a button? So I know there are some of those that do exist, or some with a bit of rope around it, just to keep the book shut.
Ashton told me you were hoping to get answers from me.
Am I confused? Look, he lets out a small chuckle.
He sent a message ahead. A friend needs to have some sense knocked into him. In verbatim.
Verbatim. Jesus.
That boy never changes.
I wasn't really expecting he'd do that.
Although I'm not quite sure what I could share, I'll do my best to help.
It's interesting because we also spoke with him last time. Isabella was having problems. Of course, there are a lot of things I want to ask. How do we get this mess out? How do we get out of this mess is the first among tens, hundreds of concerns in my head. But in the presence of someone I barely know, the thoughts won't easily form. He is nothing but patient, however, and with enough time to mull over, a question finally forms.
Do you believe in the paranormal, Professor?
It's supernatural, actually.
Supernatural.
Don't worry. It's a common mistake to make.
Yep.
But they really are two different things.
Yet, paranormal and supernatural are different.
The other one deals with what we can't explain at the moment.
Yes.
While the other are things we may not have an explanation to.
Which is... Supernatural is the one we can't explain at the moment. And paranormal is what we may... no, sorry, I got that the other way around. Supernatural is what we may not have an explanation to. And paranormal is one we can't explain at the moment.
Here.
He places a couple of papers in front of me. The very same one he was writing on earlier. A study of Luxburn's supernatural culture in a nutshell.
A friend of mine wrote that a few years ago. He took interest in the city after reading about the stories. I have to agree with him here. Even stories dealing with things you don't see with the naked eye can be rife with culture. And this city thrives on it. Just ask the locals.
Like ghosts, for example.
Among other things. The interpretation has changed over the years, though. Various religions, for example, have their own version. It might not always be a spirit now. It could be a memory, or an imprint, an echo, so to speak. Some are born from curses, even, out of great anger, hatred, or pain.
Yes.
There was this one story.
Vengeful spirits.
Ah, here it is.
Oh, that was quick. Another book is pulled out from the stack and placed open atop the papers, while he speaks with such passion that it makes me wonder if some part of him believes these to be true. It is interesting, though, even if I'm personally not a fan of such stories. And soon, hours pass without my notice.
In the end, it asks for something to be sacrificed in order to destroy whatever anchors the wraith. A sad tale, that one. But the simplest grudge can bring the ugliest, even in the kindest person. With some people none the wiser.
Like what happened with Luke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just went on.
Nah, it's good. Are you familiar with the Ermengarde Mansion, though?
Of course.
Yeah, of course
that
he
goes
does.
without saying. Who hasn't heard of the local legend? In fact, you aren't the first one to ask me about that recently.
Oh yes, because I decided for Isabella to talk about it, which means...
Although, Word of the mouth is someone has already bought it.
Ah, yeah. The Wright couple. It was a close friend who handled that sale.
So I heard. Well, don't think the house being bought by anyone would stop us from talking about it.
Yeah.
What is it about the mansion, then?
Ooh.
I just want to ask what you think of it, sir.
We're going to
Yeah.
need more than an afternoon for that, young man. You see, it's the kind that has changed over the years, passed
Yeah.
down from one person to the next. Sometimes, it's the Lord William who haunts the place. There are versions where it's the lady of the house.
Yeah.
But my favorite, a personal favorite, would have to be the ones that followed after the disappearance of the kind daughter.
Do you know what this is making me thinking of? It's making me think back to that bonus image I got. Why did I get that image anyway? I mean, I did have to censor it, but if you did see that part, you guys know exactly what I'm on about. Why was that picture important? Especially on this route. Because the route I'm on, it seems to be important, otherwise it would not have made itself shown.
Well, what about these then?
There is a moment of hesitation on my part before I pull out Mr. Wright's photo and lay them all in front of him. Unlike Ash, though, the Professor inspects each print with great interest. It gives me some hope, at least.
When were these taken?
Oh. Needs some advice, Professor. Oh, my. So he is interested now.
Just the other day. Do you think those are the same?
Perhaps. Perhaps not. There were certainly instances when the film would pick up what the human eyes weren't able to see. But then,
Yeah.
it could also have been human error.
I didn't edit it in any way. You have my word on that, Professor.
He didn't, either.
They all just came out like that.
Then, if it is what you're thinking, I'd strongly advise against doing something reckless and further tangling with them. Accounts about them may be riveting to you, but most of it often ends in an unpleasant manner.
What about those people in the house? If there is something in there, shouldn't they know? I'm sure they're already familiar with the legends, but
Some people might
Yeah.
deserve it, however.
Ooh, Professor.
deserve what, sir?
He knows about the rights. Oh, he does. He's not even telling us anything. All of a sudden, the tenderness in the Professor's eyes disappears, his face becoming unreadable. As though catching himself, he hastily clears his throat, gathers his books, and rises from his seat.
Professor?
I'm sorry. I just remembered something I neglected to do. You'll have to excuse me, Zachary.
Oh, Professor.
All right. Do you need any help with that?
Don't let my looks fool you, son. I can still carry a few hundreds. I've been doing this for years. I'll see you some other time if you have any other questions.
Of course. It was nice knowing you, Professor.
He's probably gonna die. I think that actually set his death flag. Oh, shit. Zachary met with Professor Andrew Clark in at the library. The professor shared a few of his favourite stories about the city, including a friend's research about its urban legends. When Zach showed Hannah's distorted photos, the professor only warned him not to be reckless, and that some people deserve what's coming to them. Something happened with him involving the rights. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that. But what? What happened? Oh! Okay. He doesn't hear it, however. In a few short strides, he's out of the library, leaving me and every piece of this whole mess amidst the oppressive stillness. Despite the answers gleaned, more questions surfaced. If there is even a single way out of this. Grammar people, come on. I hope we find it soon. Oh my. I can go for another 10 minutes. The moon is well into the night sky by the time I make it back home. My heavy treads at the sound of the traffic outside, echoing in my ears, filling the empty room with some semblance of life. Nana would scold me if she ever hears me walk like that, but after today I really can't give a damn about everything. The mattress creaks under my weight as I unceremoniously flop down on it, and I find myself looking at the paper under my grip. Oh? Oh, the party! An invitation and a request to cover an event. The Wright's housewarming party tomorrow evening. If only it were that easy, but it would give me a chance to talk to her. We're gonna try and talk to Hannah? Hold on a minute. About that thing in the house. With a sigh, that is a bit reckless though. I let my hand fall to the side of the bed along with the invitation. I'll think about it tomorrow when my head ain't muddled with thoughts of a headless woman and a haunting smiles of a ghost. Belatedly, it occurs to me that the last meal I ate had been the one with Ashton. And an empty gnawing ache makes itself known, but I can't bring myself to stand up. Today was a complete waste of time and frankly a disappointment. I don't like this. The lack of certainty, the disquiet, the lack of stable ground to stand on. The part where I do not know what will come tomorrow. Ever since the damned letter, everything has been thrown out of the loop. I wish everything stayed the same. Routine would have been easier to make sense of than this. Closing my eyes, I let the noise from the streets below lull me to a sleep. At the very least, that's the one thing that hasn't changed. Oh. I'm gonna end this part here, but I need to check something quickly. This is the day she ends up dying. We might actually be near to ending Zachary's part. But I'm gonna end this here. I know, dick move, but I gotta do it. Because, by goodness me, what is gonna happen? And also, it's so difficult to upload so much stuff because of where I'm at. Alright, it's difficult. But I'll end this part here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want any more from me. And I shall see you in the next video. Solid shot, guys. I will indeed see you next time. Oh my. That was an interesting thing from the professor.